Welcome back. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline, federal government intervenes in Dangote PENGASSAN row. Release AIG Imokwede's subsidy report to unmask real beneficiaries, Otedola urges federal government. BOI upscales data protection. No discussion yet on zoning in ADC, says spokesman. 24 states to benefit from AFDB's backing on agric expansion. That's the African Development Bank. The ABC of NPC's decision on rates to curb inflation. No religious genocide in Nigeria, says Idris. What stories do we have in The Nation? Who's ready to go? So I have the genocide story. Yes, so the federal government said yesterday that genocide and other forms of security crisis in troubled parts of the north are not due to religious factors. That's what they had said, but the federal government is saying that is not true. It said the allegations that terrorists in the country are waging a systematic genocide against Christians are false, baseless, despicable, and divisive. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, that's Mohammed Idris, said portraying the country's security challenges as a targeted campaign against a single religious group is a gross misrepresentation of reality. Also yesterday, former presidential aide, that's Reno Mokri, refuted a claim by a popular United States political talk show host, Mr. Bill Maher, that Christians are being targeted and killed in Nigeria. Idris said that this claim tended to oversimplify a complex, multifaceted environment and placed to the hands of terrorists and criminals who seek to divide Nigerians along religious or ethnic lines. That's everything they are saying is really not true. They went ahead to say that the terrorist violence in Nigeria is not confined to any particular religious or ethnic community, stressing that the criminals target all who reject their murderous ideology regardless of any faith, whether you're a traditionalist or you're a Christian or you're a Muslim. They just target different people. And if you check some of the reports we've been getting so far, it cuts across religion. It's really not a religious crisis. So we need to be careful how this news is being peddled outside the country, that they are targeting a particular religion and all of that. So he's calling on international organizations as well to join us so that we can work and see how the security issues will be curbed.
Talking about news, the editors have condemned arrest and illegal detention of journalists and others. That's the Nigerian Guild of Editors. They've condemned the harassment, they've condemned the intimidation and illegal detention of journalists. They said that the journalists are exercising their rights to freedom of press, and they issued this communique. It's a joint communique by the President, Eze Naba, and the General Secretary, Onoha Eke, and they said that the Guild is standing. They had a meeting in Jos, Plateau State, and the body of the Nigerian editors have said that they will no longer stand idle, watching and tolerate the abuse of Cybercrime Act, because many journalists are being targeted under the Cybercrime Act for the things they posted that should be allowed free under the freedom of press, the right to freedom of press. He also said that if they want to execute the Cybercrime Act, it should be done through the legal means, not that you just arrest someone, detain the person for days, and say that you are awaiting investigation. It reminded security agencies that the ombudsman process instituted by the Nigerian Press Organization is capable of addressing infractions and code of journalism ethics. So there is already internal process of checkmating the challenges within the media among journalists, so we don't need to abuse the idea of cybercrime law. Now, I am all for cybercrime law, but I also see that people are taking advantage of it to just arrest anybody that says anything about them on social media, and it's not meant to be an arrest. It's meant to be take the person to court. The person will show up, not detained illegally. So I'm hoping that they get.
I have Otedola. So they say Nigeria's foremost entrepreneur, Femi Otedola, has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to release the full report by Igboji Ike Imokwede panel carried out under Goodluck Jonathan administration on the controversial fuel subsidy regime. Otedola insists that Nigerians deserve to know the truth about those who looted public funds under the petroleum subsidy fund scheme, which lasted several years. So this is in response to the allegation that Umar Sani, a former special advisor to Vice President Namadi Sambo, who said that at the peak of subsidy regime, Otedola, through his company Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited, benefited from the scam he is now criticizing. Sani has said he had empirical evidence showing that Otedola controlled as much as 90% of diesel imports and up to 40% of other products at the time. And he says the same system he now condemns was one in which he was deeply entrenched and from which he personally benefited immensely. Otedola now in anger, said riled by this. He put out a statement. He said, first of all, I have instructed my lawyers to slam a 1 billion naira suit on Sani for defaming me, maintaining that he only sold diesel, which had no subsidy at the time he controlled the market. He said that that these facts were stories just meant to, they're twisting facts and they're dragging his name into disrepute and allegations of complicity in subsidy fraud. He says it's false, baseless, and a shameless attempt to pander to lies and rewrite history. In summary here, he said that he was the one that, having discovered it, talked to the president, that's Goodluck Jonathan at the time, and he said Goodluck Jonathan called the Minister of Petroleum at that time, who denied it. She denied it, and that investigations were ongoing, But after a while, EFCC was asked to stop it. Anyway, he just says it's time for Nigerians to know the real truth. But as for his name that they have dragged, 1 billion naira suit,
you're going to pay for it.
So be careful what you say about people. You just may be at the end of a 1 billion naira suit.
So Nigeria has secured enhanced funding commitments from the African Development Bank to operationalize the second phase of its special agro-industrial processing zones. With the developments, the program will extend to 24 states, from 7 and the Federal Capital Territory. The approval was granted after Vice President Kashim Shettima met with AFDB President Sidi Tar on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States, at the weekend. He said that they had already given them support of $300 million, but then as Oliver Twist, they're asking for more. Aside from that, the Vice President is also asking that, based on the fact that the youth population in Nigeria are eager to work, so they want to crop them into the 21st century to be able to do the job, but that the AFDB should just not focus on, innovation-driven enterprises, but it should not just focus only on MSMEs, but also on innovation-driven enterprises. Okay. And then the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, also used this opportunity to sought for support from the bank for their Great Green Wall initiative. Same with the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa. They also appealed to the AFDB to support the ministry in addressing the housing deficit that we have in Nigeria.
Yeah, very
so
important.
That's a good one.
To be addressed.
Yes.
We'll take a breather here. When we come back, the paper reviews continue. Stay with us. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Welcome back. Major headline: Jonathan will return as president, Jerry Ghana says. Dangote accuses PENGASSAN of serial sabotage serving oligarchs. A confusion trails Nigeria's 3 running budgets. Tracking implementation huge challenge according to experts. Fresh inflow lift banks' cash reserves to 4.2 trillion amid CBN policy easing. Nigeria 65, nation undergoing bold reforms for enduring transformation. This is according to the federal government. NGE chides security agencies over abuse of cybercrime. A Cybercrime Act vows to protect journalists. An Army headquarters direct GOC Ibadan to relocate to Kwara for increased security deployment. What's the
I have Dangote accuses PENGASSAN of serial sabotage and serving oligarchs. So the management of Dangote Petroleum Refinery berated PENGASSAN, accusing the union of decades-long sabotage of Nigeria's oil and gas sector and serving the interests of its leaders rather than ordinary Nigerians. So this very juicy, story, and I can't take everything. So I would advise that everyone, get the papers and read it. So I'll just take bits and pieces here and there. He said over time, the association has consistently proved itself as serving interests other than those of Nigerians and Nigerian workers. Dangote said in 2007, when the federal government sold the moribund Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries to Blue Star Consortium, he said that PENGASSAN and his ally NUPENG sabotaged the deal. And it's now obvious to everyone that the decision at the time was the right one, but PENGASSAN and NUPENG found a way, you know, to write their names in the on the wrong side of history. He also tried to compare what Dangote refinery has done, or Dangote has done over the course of, you know, in the years that it's been in existence. He says it's one of the largest employers of labor in Nigeria and the highest contributor to tax revenues of Nigeria, and is subnational. He says social responsibility, they have like billions of naira, you know, but with PENGASSAN, what they have is they serve anything that would provide for their leaders, nothing to show that they're doing anything for the interests of Nigerians. And if we're to compare what Dangote is doing plus what PENGASSAN has done for workers, you know, it's so clear. So he's saying that this recent threat by PENGASSAN, saying that they're going to withdraw services, cut off essential fuel supplies, not just limited to petrol, diesel, kerosene, cooking gas, and aviation fuel, it was reckless, lawless, and dangerous. And this is about a cabal of oligarchs weaponizing hardship against over 230 million Nigerians. So it's asking the federal government to wade into this situation quickly to protect the facility and the nation's energy security, stressing that the union must not be allowed to bully Nigerians into chaos and economic sabotage. So wait to hear from PENGASSAN.
I agree.
Okay.
Which other stories do we have in Daily Sun?
Yeah, so I have the story of the tragedy at Zamfara mines. Obviously, there 13 lives. We have 13 casualties from this, and they said even 2 people are still stuck under the rubble. So here's what happened. There's a lot of mining process in Zamfara, as we know. Zamfara is rich in resources, which is why you cannot see peace there. The Minister for Solid Mineral Development, Dilalake, in a statement described the loss of lives as both avoidable and unfortunate, because the reason for this loss of life was because the mines collapsed due to heavy rainfall and large illegal mining activities. There are 15 people still trapped, aside from the 13 that are confirmed dead, and 2 that are trapped, they're trying to get their bodies out of the rubble. This is definitely avoidable. Preliminary investigations reveal that the area is characterized by loose sand and traces of gold, making it suitable for a kind of mining called alluvial mining. And once gold traces were discovered, illegal miners mobilized itinerant workers to the sites and rudiment tools. So they didn't do proper digging and mining. So therefore, with the heavy rainfall that took place in the past few days, it led to the collapse of the mine. And he said in a bid to tackle illegal mining, the minister has launched the mining marshal over a year ago. Their operation has led to the arrest of over 300 illegal miners across 10 states and the FCT, and sealing of 98 illegal mines. They said effort is going on to expand, but I know that illegal mines cannot thrive without involvement of the locals. So when we arrest the foreigners, who are largely the ones involved in illegal mining, we should also hold the traditional rulers accountable, because as long as the traditional rulers are still there, it sends a message. But imagine if you are able to take off like 4 or 5 traditional rulers, every other person will get the message. They will not be complicit, because their citizens are suffering and dying and because of their own profits. So let's not be selfish.
It's so sad. Same, the Army headquarters has directed the General Officer Commanding GOC 2nd Division Nigerian Army Ibadan, Oyo State, to immediately relocate to Kwara to coordinate and boost military response to the rising wave of insecurity in the north-central states. This is as Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak called for increased security deployment in the state to root out criminals involved in attacks of parts of the states. You know, because they had an incident, this happened, the unfortunate attack that happened with the forest guards, you know, that were killed surrounding areas of Ode. So even though the forest guards, you know, pushed back and then, you know, also killed some of the people that were attacking them, they lost their lives. Yes, and and the governor is saying that they regret the loss of the innocent civilians and the forest guards who mounted a spirited resistance to the assailants in early hours of the morning. You know, his heartfelt condolence and our heartfelt condolence goes out to their families. You know, because this country, you keep trying. They say they keep training these forest guards, you know, but they keep losing them in this way. So they are urging the army, you know, to take charge and then to come and reinforce and have more people in the Kwara South and Kwara North. Yes.
I hope they are
it's
well equipped to.
Yes, it's
Let's move on now
sad.
to our final paper, Vanguard. Hazardous pesticides harm food production exports, according to experts. INEC disclosed details of selection process for Yakubu's successor, Serap tells Tinubu. Jonathan will contest and return to Aso Rock in 2027 on PDP tickets. This is Jerry Ghana. Nigeria suffering bleeding at 65. Ralph Obio has said this. No genocide against Christians in Nigeria, according to the federal government. As strike begins today, federal government waits into Dangote PENGASSAN face-off. Editors to security agencies stop misusing Cybercrime Act against journalists. Customs commences one-stop shop cargo clearance. Ponzi, SEC raises alarm over AI-generated investment scams. Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
Nigeria's crop fields may look lush, but beneath the green cover is a terrifying truth. Deadly pesticides are poisoning the nation's foods, impoverishing farmers and disappointing the economy. Every year, over $362 million worth of Nigeria's food exports are rejected overseas because of pesticide residue, while back home, millions of people unknowingly consume chemicals that are already banned elsewhere. So what was meant to boost harvest is now slow poison, threatening well-being, food security, and Nigeria's international credibility. So that is what we're discussing, and there are many stakeholders, you know, lending their voice to this scourge. There's the lead coordinator of AAPN said that pesticide residues are at the heart of repeated rejection of Nigeria's exports. Here, farmers across the country confirmed that pesticide had damaged their soils, reduced yields, and posed health risks. The chairperson of Small Scale Women Farmers Organization in Niger says we're exposed to danger because most farmers lack knowledge of safe pesticide use. Soil fertility has been destroyed, forcing us to return to compost manure. Nigeria produce cannot compete internationally because of these chemicals. So you can see we were in big problem. We need education, proper education on what's right.
This is a major challenge, and we are not as aware.
They may also have ulterior motive
Of
inside,
course,
because they want to sell their own GMO products.
Yes.
So they will say this one does not meet up, that one
No,
does not meet up. You know, yes, there's also that aspect too.
It's a
But
keeper.
not
The
our-
seedling is an industry,
Yes,
and they control
they
the seedling.
want to supply
You can't
us
have
their
corn
seedlings.
right now.
Yeah.
No, but the pesticides is a huge
No,
thing.
it is.
Especially
It's
for our
been
own health.
important,
For
and
those
our
of us
ministers
eating it.
It is.
is in their, government is importing
sabotaging
it.
ourselves.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, we
That's
are.
true.
While we are doing all of
Yes.
this, about 340 pilgrims have been in Jordan praying for Nigeria.
Okay.
They are praying because Nigeria is 65. It was organized by the ministry I believe should be scrapped, or agency, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. As a Christian, I can say boldly, you know, they by bone, may they go by themselves. But a group of 340 pilgrims went to Jordan, and they were going to place, from place to place. They now went to a place where Moses took the Israelites, but was not able to make them to the promised land. And on that mountain, they decided to pray, Mount Nebo. They decided to pray for Nigeria as they commemorate their 65th independence in the next 2 days, that the Lord will give Nigeria leaders wisdom.
Amen.
And they also offered prayers for our First Lady as well. I am not against prayers,
At
but I
all.
just
You
feel we
pray a
shouldn't
lot, so.
dedicate our resources as a country
to pray.
to fund prayer expeditions
Yeah.
across the
That's
world. We should pray. We have many mountains in
priorities.
Nigeria, and God hears in those
Yeah.
mountains here.
But let
Thank
me-
you so much.
okay.
You have a story?
No, I just wanted to quickly talk about what the SEC said about the AI generated
Yeah.
voices
It's important.
schemes. That,
Yeah, quickly,
you know,
please.
just be careful. Let me quickly wrap up. Just be careful that when you see videos with celebrities, politicians saying that you should come and invest in something that's going to give you quick returns, low risk, just be very careful.
50%
and
return,
that
80% return.
Yes, 80%, and then that they now have surveillance with collaboration with the CBN, and that they are also on social media now. So if they see you as an influencer promoting, you know,
going to penalize influencers.
promoting all these schemes, there's problem for you. So
Exactly.
stay woke.
We have to be careful.
Stay woke.
Anything you hear, 50%, 80%,
Or
95%.
one AI is the one that is trading on your behalf.
Yes, forget
careful.
it, it's scam. Thank you so much, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we'll move on to the topics for today. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.